In the Solve It, you drew a conclusion based on several facts. You used deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning, sometimes called logical reasoning, is the process of reasoning logically from given statements or facts to a conclusion. Take note. Property. The law of detachment. The law itself. If the hypothesis of a true conditional is true, then the conclusion is true. In symbols, we state this: if P implies Q is true, and P is true, then Q is true. To use the law of detachment, identify the hypothesis of the given true conditional. If the second given statement matches the hypothesis of the conditional, then you can make a valid conclusion. Problem 1. Using the law of detachment. What can you conclude from the given true statements? Part A. Given. If a student gets an A on a final exam, then the student will pass the course. Felicia got an A on her history final exam. If the statement, if a student gets an A on a final exam, then the student will pass the course, is true, and in this case we assume it is, and Felicia got an A on her history final exam, the second statement matches the hypothesis of the given conditional. By the law of detachment, you can make a conclusion. You conclude Felicia will pass her history course. Part B. Given, if a ray divides an angle into two congruent angles, then the ray is an angle bisector. Ray RS divides angle ARB so that angle ARS is congruent to angle SRB. Draw a sketch if necessary. If a ray divides an angle into two congruent angles, then the ray is an angle bisector. Well, ray RS divides angle ARB so that angle ARS is congruent to angle SRB. That matches the hypothesis of the given conditional. So, by the law of detachment, you can make a conclusion. You conclude ray RS is an angle bisector. Part C. Given, if two angles are adjacent, then they share a common vertex. Angle 1 and angle 2 share a common vertex. The statement, if two angles are adjacent, then they share a common vertex. Angle 1 and 2 share a common vertex. Note the information in the second statement about angle 1 and angle 2 does not tell you whether the angles are adjacent. The second statement does not match the hypothesis of the given conditional. It matches the conclusion. So you cannot use the law of detachment. Angle 1 and angle 2 could be vertical angles, since vertical angles also share a common vertex. You cannot make a conclusion. Your turn, Part A. What can you conclude from the given information? If there is lightning, then it is not safe to be out in the open. Marla sees lightning from the soccer field. Part B. What can you conclude from the given information? If a figure is a square, then its sides have equal length. Figure ABCD has sides of equal length.